Head over to BoardGamePrices.com to check out Whistle Stop, Rocky Mountains, and thousands of other games. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're on the train again. The train's gonna be making all these whistle sounds and going down the tracks, but today we're going to the mountains. We're going to the Rocky Mountains. This is the expansion, the first one for Whistle Stop, called Rocky Mountains. So let's check it out. I'm gonna show you what comes in this expansion, how things work. I'll see you on the other side. The expansion comes with a lot of new components, a whole stack of new upgrade tiles, some new gold of values of 6, a whole new stock, a lot of new standard tiles, and some end tiles. So let's talk about how all these work. Now it comes with its own section of the board, which you'll place in the middle here, which actually makes the entire board about 2 columns longer. Now this board is the Rocky Mountains, and if you can see here, this is actually raised up 1 level from the bottom to make it feel and look like the mountains, which is a really cool thing. Now some of these tiles actually start with different gears, so you'll actually be placing some of these upgrades right on the board, where before you could only get upgrades off the board by purchasing. Well, now you can actually get them here. When you do that, anytime you go into any one of these spots around the Rocky Mountains, you have to spend an extra resource or 2, like this, an extra 2 coal or an extra whistle, an extra coal, 2 coal or whistle. Now you have to pay that in order to enter the tile like normal, but when you get these upgrades, you don't have to pay this cost. You just basically pay that and you're able to get this upgrade. And there's still, even though there's going to actually be 4 upgrades on the board that you can get, you still have the same amount of upgrades that you can buy. Now also, when going in some of these spots, now normally there would be some tiles of people placing coming here, but let's say that you were going to place a tile here, you would pay that additional cost, you would place a tile that you want here, but you would also get what's here. This is an extra rare resource, if you will. This is an extra rare resource and a gold, so you're going to be getting good rewards for going there, but it's costing you extra to go there, and you'll be placing the tile of your choice right on those like that. That was the bottom half of the Rocky Mountains. Here's the upper half. There'll be 2 more spots for 2 more upgrades. And again, same types of rewards, and they work the same way. This entire column on the left of the Rocky Mountains will actually get a certain tiles here, different types, similar to the setup in the base game, but this will actually have a bunch of tiles on it as well. So let's talk about all these different tiles and how they work. So here are the 9 different upgrade tiles, and remember, there's going to be 4 on the board, and there's still just as many as the base game that you can purchase, so there's actually more chances for upgrades in this expansion. The depot box, when you get to the end of the whole line on the west coast, instead of putting your train on the top left and getting a reward, you can take a stock instead. The salvage yard allows you to discard a tile from your hand and either get the reward that's on there or take 2 coal. This allows you to gain a gold when you place a tile in the mountains. And notice, as I showed earlier, this expansion actually comes with 3 gold that are value 6. And so it just makes the values of gold possibly more. Also notice that all the tiles in this have this little Rocky Mountain symbol, so you can tell what's in the expansion and what's not. Here you can play a tile on the mountain space for 1 less coal, having the dynamite cart, so it costs you less to put things on that Rocky Mountain spaces. The whistle assembly allows you to spend a whistle to get 2. And this one allows you to have a 5th action, but it must be a whistle. So these 2 work well together. This one is you can spend a coal to move a train to a stop in the same column, private line. So you can move anywhere on a stop in the entire column of you if you spend a coal with this one. And here you can gain a coal when you move a train in the mountains. So if you're going to be moving a lot in the mountains, you do this and you'll be gaining coals for that. Now here are some new end tiles. These are the ones that are going to be in the last column. You would mix these in with the other ones. The express station. When you get to this spot, you can spend 2 whistles or 4 coal, and you'll get 2 points for every train from all players that are not yet retired to the depot, meaning they haven't finished. So if there were a total of 15 total trains, let's say you were the first train there were 15 left, 15 times 2, you could get 30 points if you rush to here and get it. This is the last stop. If your last train that is being retired goes to this spot, 2 whistles and or 4 coals you spend and get 25 points. Now these ones allow you to spend resources when you get there to get points, and 2 different types of stocks. Same thing here and same thing here. Again, you get minus points if you cannot spend those resources, but these allow you to get more. They give you less points than the other ones, but they give you 2 different stocks. And of course, this one offers the Rocky Top, among many other tiles that will allow you to get this stock as well, and a whole new set of stocks comes in the game. Now there's also standard tiles in the game that will be mixed up with the regular ones that you'll be having in your hand and placing throughout the game. And here are some of the different stops on there. The scrapyard, you can discard a card from your hand. Similar to that other upgrade I already showed you, you discard one from your hand, a tile, and either get the resources on the card or you can get 2 coal. This allows you to trade a stock for any gold or gold for any stock. This allows you to get that new stock that is introduced into the game, Rocky Top. And basically you can spend that to get this and get the points, just like before. If you can't do that, you get minus points. And the supply depot gets you a coal and a standard resource. And here are some of the other standard tiles that come in the expansion. Some with whistles, more with gold, some of them with 2 whistles on there. So you can just see some of the other standard tiles in the game. Now, all of the tiles are compatible with the base game, meaning you don't have to play with the Rocky Mountain board. You can play with just all the extra tiles, except for these 4, which are specific to the Rocky Mountain part of the board. All right, well, there's the Rocky Mountain expansion. What did I like about it? Well, we have the Rocky Mountain board that adds to the table presence. It's sort of a 3-dimensional board. Now you have things that go up, and it does, they look like mountains because it's a level higher than the board. That's kind of cool. And going through the mountains is tougher because you have to spend more resources to go through it because it takes more gas and more all sorts of stuff to go through those big mountains, but you get good rewards for doing that. So the first one through there is going to get some stuff, but it's going to make it easier for others to go through there, but they're going to get stuff for it. I think that's kind of cool. I like that in this expansion you can get upgrades that you can get them directly from the board, where before you had to just sort of buy them off the board. And you can still do that, but now you can actually get some on the board. I think that's a cool and interesting way to get more upgrades in the game, because quite honestly, the upgrades is one of my favorite parts of the game, finding different upgrades that work well together, building some engines, and building those with things that are on the board. Now, the upgrades themselves, lots of cool ones here. I played a game where I had one that said, hey, you spend 1 whistle to get 2 whistles. And I also got one that said, you can have a 5th action spot for whistles. And I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. I can turn 1 to 2, I can have up to 5. I started working this whistle engine and it worked really well. I also got one that said, hey, you get a stock, when your train finishes and things like that, instead of getting one of the bonuses. And so different things like that really makes you play the game differently and think differently, which is what I think an expansion should do. I also like that they had new end tiles. There were some that gave you double stocks, meaning more than 1, but they gave you less points to compensate for that. So kind of cool there. One with the last train. If you had sort of the last train, you get special bonus. Your fast trains, meaning the first one there. If you're the fastest one there, you get points for however many leftover trains there are. So I had built an engine where I was moving really fast. I had all these whistles that I was telling you about, the upgrades, and I was moving through and getting my trains there quickly and scoring a lot of points because there weren't as many trains finished. So different engines to build here, which I really like. There's also more standard tiles that have gold on them, have whistles, and again, more replayability even with the standard style tiles. And I think the game, it retails for about $20, and that's a lot of value for that. For $20, that's great. All these tiles, all these different ways to play, the new board. If you like Whistle Stop, this is really a no-brainer. It's opened up new strategies, new engines, more replayability, more everything for just $20. I think it's a no-brainer if you liked Whistle Stop. There you have it. Upgrade your gaming experience with Game Toppers, and until the end of the year with the huge Christmas sale, get 15 to 20% off accessories, thematic mats, storage bags, and rail bundles while supplies last at GameToppersLLC.com.